Hey guys, welcome to a brand new series on my channel. We're about to start playing World End Economica, a visual novel from a creator of Spice and Wolf, Isuna Hasekura. Now, I've heard a good thing about his latest work. Well, I say latest, this has been out for a while, but I figured I've been wanting to play it for a while, so now's better time than ever to get into it. I'll play it in English, of course. Now, I'm going to do this exactly the same way I did my last visual novel series, so I'm going to use voices for some of the characters. Apologies if you don't like that. If you don't like it, leave a comment and let me know so I know what to do in the future. And if you want to buy this for yourself, it is actually available on Steam, and I think it's on their website. You can buy it loads of places now. In fact, all 3 parts of it are actually now on Steam, so definitely go out and buy that, because it's supposed to be a good game. I've not played it myself, but judging from Spice and Wolf, I like his stuff, so should be good. In the past, people really believed that there was a doorway to an alternate world on the dark side of the moon. This dark side could not be seen from Earth, and it was only a few decades ago that the images were successfully taken of it. As Earth had been visited, mapped and divested of all its mysteries and secrets, it was made painfully clear that there were no rabbits on the moon, no trace of aliens, and certainly no pieces of portals to alternative worlds. This was perhaps why the journey to the dark side of the moon through the vastness of space was so fascinating for me when my parents took me there as a kid. Mankind had never set foot on any of the glistening stars that were arrayed before me. When I realised that, I felt a desire to leave my footprints where no one had gone before. It wasn't until after I learned more about the world that it dawned on me what a foolhardy dream that was. Regardless, it was something that shook me to a core so much I nearly wet my pants. Afterwards, everything before me became a stepping stone in my mind toward my dream of setting foot where no one had gone before. I had no time to waste. If I didn't act now, then someone else would leave their footprints there first. Faster! Faster! Much faster! The population continued to grow, and time ruthlessly slipped away. Only a handful could be the vanguard of it at all. Not a day went by where I didn't ponder what I could see. It will be a new frontier where familiar places, customs from the past would not exist. A frontier where every small movement I made will become part of history. The footprints of the first humans on the moon could still be found preserved in the Sea and Tranquility Memorial Hall. Those footprints told uncountable tales. Footprints left in the sand, measuring just shy of 30 inches. Even so, they were amazing footprints that sent shivers down my spine. With a click, my mobile PC turned on. I awoke to the whirring of a hard drive. Since I'd fallen asleep cold in my chair clutching my PC, it was difficult to get my body to move. My body felt so stiff, I was sure that a careless motion would break something. Even so, I rather enjoyed the sensation of slowly stretching out my limbs from this cramped position after waking up. It made me feel alive and truly let me know I was awake. I wheeled my arms to move, and then my legs. Although hardly efficient, this is how I chose to do things, and was what happened when I woke up every morning. It was satisfying action, and one I never had a chance to savour before I left home. On top of a table I left my rather crude diode lamp on, and a coarse layer of fat had formed on the surface of a leftover coffee in my dirty cup. Besides my cup was a half-eaten chocolate bar, which I'd reached for and crammed into my mouth. I swallowed the unpleasantly sweet chunk as the PC finished booting up. At that moment, my brain went to work as I verified I had my wallet, my memory cards, and bag on me, and that none of it had been stolen while I was asleep. It had appeared that I'd survived the previous night, only then did I breathe a sigh of relief. However, in order for me to survive today, I would have to make some money. It had been 3 months and 12 days since I left home. Telling myself I wasn't just some well-to-do kid pretending to be a ruffian, I flipped open the organic display. I was staying in a cheap net cafe. It was a good-for-nothing establishment that leached Wi-Fi from another shop. Its customers were of equally questionable quality. Hey kid, fine morning, isn't it? As I left the booth to go wash my face, an unkempt clerk greeted me as he played a game at the counter. I figured he wasn't being so much friendly as he was just making sure I knew he was watching me. The only entrance and exit were next to a counter, and after the side of the wall were words, "Everyone pays, no freeloaders." Even though that's a sad excuse for a building was built as a sewage canal, my money was always collected. The only thing that concerned me as I left home was finding a place to sleep. If I had some money, I couldn't really change my appearance. A fine morning. Not fond of your sarcasm, Earth Dog. The clerk's face twisted into a smile at my retort. Oh. It's unfortunate to not know what a real morning looks like, since the weather here is just a computer program. He said that lightly as he turned to his game. It seemed to be from Earth, though I wonder if he came to the moon as unskilled labour, got fired and ended up here as an outcast of some sort. Why don't you head back to Earth then? In my words, he turned briefly to glance at me and laughed sarcastically. Things are a bit better here than down there anyhow. That's how he responded. Moon scum. Without responding, I went to the washroom. My name's Yoshiharu Kawawa. I was born and raised in this lunar city, so I was genuine moon scum. I returned to my booth, entered my password and booted up the tool application on my computer. A welcome screen. Its only good point was its friendliness was followed by a merciless and desolate landscape, much akin to a surface of a moon. Countless lines of words flickered on the screen. I imagine it's kind of effect what you get if you took a picture of the undeveloped part of a moon's surface with a low-res camera. The screen showed a session of a lunar stock exchange. This was the kind of place for moon scum like me to make a living. I'll get rich without needing to break a sweat. I didn't have enough time to earn an honest living. I took a deep breath and went about business. Oh, that's me, is it? Downward revision for the first fiscal quarter of CK Bio. Possibility of an investigation into Emerald Industries over suspicious of collusion regarding inflation. The board of directors of Lunar Central Bank. I wonder if right click works on this one. Let's have a quick check. No, middle click? Yeah, middle click gets rid of the text, so you can now see a nice picture of Yoshi. While I'm at Streamer News, I focus managing 220 stocks, picking up those with large price fluctuations. For instance, if one of a stock moved 10% on the previous day, and another moved 1%, there's a probably higher chance that a stock that moved 10% could move by 1% today. I will trade up that notion alone. Putting into consideration the mood of a market based within news, I would buy stocks with large fluctuations. With a turbulent up and down movement of a price, I could extract some profit, which is what I occupied myself with between 9 and 5 lunar time. Between these hours, the only thing that went into my mouth was food I could eat in one-handed and drinks. To be honest, I was so engrossed in trading and breaks were uncommon. Even if I had the free time to take a break, I'd rather use it to look at my screen to grasp price fluctuations and do some trades. After all, the difference of a few minutes from making a call to buy or sell could easily be the difference between gaining or losing 1 or 2%. My war chest was 72,000 moles. 1% of that came out to 700 moles. A store clerk here would make 7 moles an hour at best. This is a place where public school teachers' monthly starting salary was 1,200 moles. So I could make in a few minutes what would I make in a month. Of course, over the course of a day's trading, some people would win, others would lose, but I was a winning streaker of all streaks, and before I knew it, my seed money of 1,000 moles had ballooned to 72 times that. The only one time I did honest hard labour in my life was to build that seed money. Since then, I've just been building my assets through these trades. While my gains were a little less than what they used to be, the greater assets you grew, the faster they grew, so it didn't worry me. I'd be what they call a snowball effect. I'd never seen snow before, I'd been seen videos of it on Earth before, so I was familiar with it. I decided I was going to make even more money than live in the centre of this lunar city. It's a place where tons of ridiculously smart people are gathered. It said that 70% of this world's wealth was held by the people there. I live up there, and then... Back in my head was high on these kind of delusions as I performed trade after trade, like a man possessed. That's why it took me a while to notice. I finally did after I got smacked on my head. Ow. Yo, kid. I turned around to see a clerk from before standing at a booth for open door. What, you want money? Since when did this place become prepay? Or what was it, something else? Was making money not allowed here? What do you want? I'm busy. I glared at him, the only skinny, blear-eyed clerk let out a tired sigh. As your reply, I'm going to tell you a police. I'm on my way to gather up street urchins and... Before the clerk finished his sentence, my PC had closed and been thrown into my bag. Hey, wait! The employee grabbed my shoulder as I tried to push him aside and exit the booth. Though he was thin, he was still muscular, strong enough to remind you that he was an adult. Still, I always kept this amount of money in my breast pocket for a time like this. I grabbed it and thrust it into his hands. Keep your change. I put on my hat, shouldered my bag, and ran down a narrow corridor. Wondering what was going on in the booth, a bunch of guys, who looked like they were just mumble useless replies to any police questioning, peeked through the cracks of my booths, wondering if anyone had been arrested. As a sliding past a dirty counter, I made it to a store's even filthier exit. The chipped away paint and rust made the already cramped building feel even more claustrophobic. And straight down the hallway towards the open air. There were stairs if I turned left at the end of the hall. I never had any plans to use them in the first place. Without a moment's hesitation, I kicked off the floor, jumping as high as I could. Passing over a concrete wall, my body flew out over the street. Because the cafe was on the 5th floor of the building, there was a heck of a view below me. I jumped towards the wall of a building opposite me, and then kicked off from that wall, aiming back towards the wall of the first building. Oh, fancy. Once I saw my foot hit a pipe in the wall, I jumped straight up with all my strength and resolve. Human genes have been fine-tuned for living on Earth over millions of years, so with some weight training anyone can perform feats like these on the moon, where the gravity was lower. What you couldn't do was allow yourself to miss daily training. Jumping from wall to wall, I quickly reached the 14th floor of the building next door. I guess my heart rate did go up a bit. I glanced down to see a pair of blue uniformed policemen looking bored as they tapped their batons on my shoulders and climbed the stairs. It seems the clerk wasn't playing a prank on me when he gave me that tip. I already paid him my thanks to him when I handed him that money though. By now he should probably have used the change from it to kick back with a store-bought beer. For a moment I opened my bag in the hallway and flipped open my PC screen. I ran off in the middle of a trade so my position hasn't changed. I should have been able to get at least a week wireless connection out here. If I was lucky, the prices would have risen and I'd be home free. But usually at times like this... figures. After hanging my head in disappointment, I closed out my losing positions and called it a day. Knowing good could come from wandering around downtown in the middle of the day. After jumping from one building to the next, I decided to walk down a deserted hallway towards my favourite Chinese restaurant. There was a time of day where most people at my age would be at school, so walking around carelessly could get you chased down by cops if you knew it. Until you turn 18, the legal age here, it was mandatory that you belong to some kind of educational institution. Some people would say it was a good thing, while others grumbled over something about government-funded programs. I fell into neither camp. My way of dealing with systems I didn't like was to quietly escape them, not to loudly criticise them. On that note, this area with all its complicated passageways and extreme elevation changes, it's not hard to see the 7th floor of one building be next to a basement of another, but it's convenient for people like me. Not to mention the overgrown vegetation here and there acts as a good cover. These plants weren't originally included in the city plans, but had leaked out one of many lunar laboratories where they were messing up with genes. Supposedly, genes had tons of factors that express themselves differently depending on the environment, so a lot of plants and animals started acting strangely as soon as they were brought to the moon. There were even people saying that life forms on Earth could have originated from outer space and brought to Earth via the moon. Some of these plants grew so well the moon's inorganic matter, well, you might wonder if they'd been around here for a million years. Of course, it wasn't as if those plants were free from the laws of physics. Nitrogen and other nutrients for them were often brought over from Earth. So I hadn't heard any worries about the surface of the moon will be taken over by greenery. This applied to more than just plants though. As for the humans here, it didn't matter how many ultra-elite think tanks came to energise the lunar economy and its industries, life here just wasn't sustainable without sending a lot of things over from Earth. According to government statements, even if the orbital elevator were to stop moving today, there's currently enough biomass here to create an enclosed, recycling-based environment. In other words, we'll be able to eat food, crap it out, and then use that crap to grow more food to eat and so on. I'll be able to make a ton of electricity with solar panels while collecting direct sunlight to use as a super hot source of heat. So maybe they're right. I mean, people even say that Earth was in more danger environmentally, since they're still relying on oil and nuke. I don't know who was right. Whatever the case, I had dreams, and if it meant making my dreams come true, I didn't care if I was on Earth or the Moon. After all, my dream was to stand at the forefront of humanity. Be a place where you can only look forward and live by advancing onwards. Who cared about what happened to the world below you? If I couldn't make this dream come true, there'd be no reason for me to live. That was why, to put it logically, I never worried a single bit about the Moon's environment or whatever. What I worried about was how much money I made and how fast I reached my goals. While I was thinking about these things, I passed through a thickly vegetated tunnel towards high ground. It was a clear day as always. On the other side was a translucent membrane, with visible half of a mist-covered Earth looked small. The sky over lunacy was wrapped in a see-through dome right beyond it. Let's have a quick look at that, shall we? Now there's a money shot. I might even use that in the thumbnail or the end of video bumper. Let me know if you like it. Was outer space. I should let you know if this sentence is going to end halfway through the box. Gravity was weak on the Moon, so you couldn't naturally keep large amounts of gases stored up on the surface. Also, while apparently each 24-hour a day on Earth had a morning, afternoon and night, which was followed by the next day by another morning, the Moon alternated between 2 weekdays and 2 weeknights. However, the human body cycle was set differently, thanks to tens of thousands of years living on Earth. Because most of the people living on the Moon were immigrants from Earth, the dome was adjusted to give off a light in an Earth-like way. Even had sprinklers attached to it so it would rain. However, it only seems like downpours and thunderstorms in videos. When it rained here, it was always just a drizzle. Strong winds never blew here. The only winds we felt here were a slow coiling movement of the atmosphere due to centrifugal and Coriolis forces, as well as a gentle breeze of the air inside the dome being mechanically circulated. I strayed from the streets into a grass-covered cliff and jumped upward with a grunt. I kicked a tree branch and rotated my body to land on top of a tunnel. This was a box seat where you can look down on a greater part of the city. I grabbed some beef jerky out of my bag and bit into it. According to the guys who came here from Earth, this wasn't at all close to a real thing, but it's the only beef jerky I know. There are a number of cities on the Moon. The one I lived in was the very first city to be created, and I could get a clear view of the whole thing from here. The spot in front of me, pointed skyscrapers, sprung upward one after another, was called Newton City. It wasn't like an entry here was regulated. However, it had a feel of a special zone where only certain people could enter, since it was full of giant corporate buildings and even public places like shopping malls and parks were overrun with police and city regulations. Most wealth here was created in Newton City. You could find famous tycoons with assets worth over 10 billion malls all over the place. If you had that much wealth, you'd undoubtedly be able to be on the forefront when humanity took its next step. Money can make just about any desire you might have in this world come true. In this world, money ruled all. Like a photograph of a moment of a drop of liquid hitting a pool of water, a group of skyscrapers stood in the dead centre of Newton City, while the buildings around the area were suddenly much shorter. The area was middle-class people who worked in Newton City lived called Green City, or the White Belt. It was a place full of people who loved words like high society and refinement. The kinds of people who claimed to care about grace and harmony, but were really full of nothing but pride and obsessions with upward mobility. Whenever I went there, I felt sick seeing the sterilised rows of small, nicely manicured lawns and white-walled buildings. There wasn't a single piece of garbage on the streets, and my only plants were domesticated trees on the roadside. After that, the buildings in the area around Green City got taller again. It was a complete jumble. There, power lines dangled messily onto the streets, and vulgar neon signs lit the area, painting the whole place with a feeling of squalor. Can we see that? Here, maybe? The area is called the outer sections, and while technically they'd all been numbered from 1 to 8, there was no real point. If you consider Newton City as the centre of everything, the north was full of factories, where you could find silicon dioxide dissolution factories, fertilizer synthesis factories, and automated plantations and so on. On the east side was a village where I lived, the area is notorious for its hard-nosed residents. You could also find settlements of old-timers where you might find artisans in the area, which made for countless number of small workshops. Most people didn't have the luxury of being able to do something like transport wooden furniture via orbital elevator, and land was expensive on the moon, so the houses of Green City were small. As a result, handmade furniture created with the size and shape of your house in mind was far more popular than ready-made furniture. But it sounded a lot like Tokyo. I was told my parents was aiming to live together with plants bought from Earth in exchange for making furniture out of wood. Even though factories existed that used the best scientific advances to maximise harvest rates as much as physically possible, they still grew plants by hand for some reason. They seemed to have at least their customers, but I didn't see a single enjoyable thing about being covered in dirt. Just made me wonder why they even came to the moon in the first place. This was unplaced for stuff like that. The moon was supposed to be a place where you directed your gaze to the top of inorganic buildings that lived in Newton City. If I shifted my eyes to the left, I saw an area haunted by those who couldn't keep up in that struggle. Here, where buildings started rusting, no one would bother to repaint them. They nicknamed the Red Valley. The reason it was called a valley was because when Newton City was originally built on a flat crater floor, all the low-income earners made of Rocky Mountains surrounded their home. By Rocky Mountains, I don't quite mean something like the harsh mountains environments you might find on Earth. It was actually closer to what you might call highlands. As a result, the rock was chipped away to increase the surface area like a river eroding hills, and many structures could be built in a tight area by terracing them onto the slopes. Furthermore, space was secured by digging caves into the rocky stretches. It's clearly evident doing this over time made a mess of the city. Not much more than a decade had passed since the city's establishment. It had already become such a devilish haunt that you couldn't blame local government if they just threw their hands up and gave up. As for me, I like Red Valley with its level of squalor. While it was true that people living there could be called outcasts and failures, the place was irresponsible in a good way, and that put me at ease. Of course, I had no intentions of becoming a 20% would live there. And finally, the area where I was right now was called the 6th Outer Section. It was not as degenerate as the Red Valley, but not quite as productive as the east side of town. This area didn't even have a nickname yet. Its lackadaisical aspects oozed at every turn. While buildings were dirty and worn out, it was dotted with small companies, but it dreamed of Newton City, and an occasional decent-looking house, so it wasn't the worst place to live. What's going on? I stood up, hopped back onto the street, and jogged off. The road was paved with neatly shaved limestone rocks. It was chipped and cracked through here and there, but no one ever tried to patch it. The rough dirt of the moon had piled up in its recesses. I'll tell you what. I'm actually going to stop it there for today. This game doesn't seem to have obvious stopping points like Valhalla, so I'll kind of stop it where it seems natural. This is a scene change. I'm going to go back to it first line again next episode, so join me then. This has been episode 1 of World End Economica. If you want to buy it yourself, it's out now on Steam. I'm pretty sure this one's also from the Seiko project, the same people who released Clanad. I would play Clanad, but obviously, unlike World End Economica, you can't really upload Clanad. More than a little bit anyway. Let me know what you think of the game, though. Have a wonderful day. My name is Unfud, so remember to like and subscribe if you like the video. Bye bye.